Welcome back to CheatSheetPros. Today we're going to look at the NBA tip sheet. I'm just kidding, fuckers. Today's CheatSheetPros, January 22nd, 2026. I'm going to use this as a tutorial to walk through our NBA tip sheet that you might see us post. Looks something like this. And then also we're going to build a parlay for today. So if you see this video and it's after today, use it as a tutorial. If not, if you've got it today, go ahead and walk through it. So typically when I'm building these, I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to have to scroll to get to the other side a little bit just because of the screen. I didn't want to shrink it down to where you couldn't see it. I wanted to keep it fairly big. So you'll notice this last week on the NBA sheet, I went to last 10 games before we had last 7. I said, F it, let's go to 10. 10's a little bit better. It gives us more data. We can see more things. So if a player's out, like for example, if this player's out, I can look up here and see what this guy did while he was out, etc., etc. And then how I start is I go down here to the DVP zone. It's usually sorted by the games that are giving up teams giving up the most fantasy points, and then I'm going to look at that game. So the very top one here is Utah, San Antonio. Then we're going to go Miami, Portland, and then I just work my way down. And then if you get down in this bottom area, and I've already got 5 legs that I like, I don't even mess with those games. I stick. So Utah, San Antonio is going to be the first one we go to. We're going to go over here to game logs. If you want to see what the team did, you can go over here to the bet tab, click inside this bottom team. So see carrot's gone, click in there, boom, carrot appears. And then we're going to go through and, whoop, that's Miami, Portland. And we're going to go through and look at Utah. And then you can kind of see, okay, over here you see these little arrows. This team's played twice. So they put up 233 points the last time, 241 points prior. I could get into some of the betting stats, but I'm not going to. Just say the pace is up, the defense is down, so there should be plenty of points in this game, which is one we are going to target. So, game log tab, home team, you click inside here, the carrot appears, you go down, you find your home team, everything else populates. For this one, we already have Utah. Up here, we can see what the Vegas spread is. So, Spurs, 12-point favorite. Lauri Markkanen's not playing, so maybe they're expecting some type of a blowout. Either way, I expect at least 230 points. So one of the things I'm going to do, let's go ahead and build a same-game parlay, and we'll just mix a couple together. And these are really your risk-reward tolerance, what you enjoy. And some people want to bet a little bit of money and shoot for the moon, and others, they want to bet more money but have a higher win percentage. So the fun thing about these is you can mix and match and do whatever you want. So, so with Lauri Markkanen out, Keyonte George is the next one. Now, one of the keys here that I want to show you, if you go over here to the props tab, we go to the game, you can see over here, it normally says this, type in a player name here. I'll go back. And this bottom field is blank. So what I do is I say, okay, I want to know, since Lauri Markkanen is such a big part of the offense, I'm going to plug him in, and it's just going to pull his game logs and line him up so I can see what games he has played. So we're just going to say he's been gone these last 5 games. We're going to scroll up here. We're going to look at Keyonte George. As far as points, he's got 43, 30, 29, 17, 25. Good bet he's going to score 18 to 20 points. That's fair. Over here, Sensabaugh, you can kind of take a look at him, work your way down. But I always want to see if a big player is out, where that usage is going to go. Now, you can Google it. You can go to Basketball Reference, look at it, or you can just kind of figure it out yourself. So we're going to go over here to Keyonte. Let me make sure you can see this. Okay, I got the screen there. And I like to flip around here. So typically, my first column, those are plays like minus 630, that's too much. So I'm trying to find stuff that's minus 400, minus 500 for the safer column. And then, between minus 200 and minus 350-ish for kind of the middle column. So ideally, if you get 3 plays that are minus 385, that's plus 100. That's even money, a normal bet. So my idea is to have a column in the middle, and you can go down and just pick your favorite 3 and be like, boom, I'm going to bet a unit on these 3. I like them. Or you can go to the left column where they're a little bit steeper. And the reason I do that is a lot of promos, you can't do stuff if it's more than minus 500. So that's kind of my cutoff. That, and when you get over even minus 500 steep, 450, I don't like getting that high, but I'll always have a couple in there. You just don't get enough reward. So if your parlay is like plus 108 and you add a guy that's minus 1,000 and it goes to plus 112, you gain 4 cents. It really doesn't do anything. So you really want to stick in that, minus 150 to minus 350. That's kind of the sweet spot. But 385 is plus 100, and that's always a good bet as well. But again, you can do 20 legs on a parlay at DraftKings, so you can slap as many of those in there as you want. So Keontae George, we're going to take a look at him, and I always want to see the prices. So 15 points minus 15.20, that's stupid. 18,630, that's past our threshold. 20 minus 399, that's fair. You know, no Laurie Marketing. We think he can get 20 points. It's less than 400. That's not too bad. Now, 25 drops all the way to minus 150. That's fair. So I want to go back and see, you know, the last 3 games, yeah, 43, 30, 29. He's clearing that. So if you wanted to go to 25 minus 150, you could. That would crank it up. He also got 25 in this game. Also, I go down here and I look at field goal attempts. You know, he took 28 shots, 20 shots, 15, 11, 17, 16. So these last 3 games, I mean, 15 to 20 to 28, he's shooting the ball. That's what we like when a guy is, we're taking a points prop as a shooter. And then we're going to talk about red play. So we're going to start this. We're going to build it with Keontae 20 plus, and he's going to be the main guy. Ace Bailey. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this hit rate, and I'm looking at the last 5 averages versus the prop to see. So if it's like normal gray, there's nothing. If it's orange, it's a little, just think of that as kind of like warm water. You know, it's a little warm. He's going over it, but not by much. If it's red, then he's over it by a certain percentage. That's good. So if his hit rate's red and his last 5 versus prop, we call that a red play. Those are fun to look at. I've never tracked him. It's something I just plugged in this last week, so it's fairly new. So over here, his 2 that he's hitting the most are rebounds and assists. So his assist is 1.5, and I look across here, I see 1, 4, 1, 3. I don't give a shit. I'm not even messing with that. I go down here to Sensabaugh. He hasn't played these last 2 games. However, 25, 27, 43. Didn't do only took 8 shots in this game, and then 26. So 4 of the last 5 games, he's had over 25 points. His prop's 19.5. So he's someone I'm going to look at, and when you get down to 12, 660, stupid, but 15 at 289, that is fair. If he's healthy and he's playing, I think he was questionable, I'm not sure. 289 is a good price. If I can get him less than 385 and get 3 of them, we can get to plus money. So typically with my first 2 legs, I want to get this to less than minus 200, and then I know my third leg is going to get me into plus money. Now, 18 points, 144. 289 to 144 is not really enough for me to jump. I'll stick with the 15, 19. But you get to 20, now you're at plus money. And if you start putting these legs together that have a plus sign in front of them, you're going to skyrocket some of these payouts and send them to the moon. And we'll go over some of these. So Keontae, 20 points. I like that. He also has a lot of assists. You can do 25 points and assists. But we're going to do Sensabaugh, 15 points for this one. And I'm going to flow down here. Now, what jumps out at you? Red. So now we have a player that's got a whole bunch of red and a whole bunch of red. So we call it red. So this player here, this is what we're going to look at as a red play. And that just means someone that's warm. You know, they might have low lines. Maybe Vegas hasn't caught up yet, or maybe they're not going to play as many minutes. So you want to check that. So looking across here, I'm going to look at the differences. So I'm looking at these numbers. So points, 5.5, rebounds 3, assists 3, PRA 11.5. So that's going to point me right to PRA. So that has the biggest difference. So here we can see his prop line is 27.5. He's hit it 100% of the time. Now keep in mind, he hasn't played 5 games, so there's only 5 games here. But he's projected for 29, so his raw projection is to go over his line. His last 5 games, he's averaged 39, but again, that's only these 5 here, so he's only played 2. And then over these 5 games, over the last 10 times they've played, he averages 36.2. So he is crushing his PRA number. Now, typically, I look at the assist, 4.5. I'm going to scroll across here. So if it's like 3, 4, and 5, I'm probably going to move to points and rebounds. But he did have a 10 assist game because I want them to have the ceiling where they can get way up over it and not just be 1 or plus 1 or minus 1, depending on the odds. Rebounds, 10.5. He had 18 and then 9, 17. And one of the, I clicked out of that. One of the notes I made on here is a Nurkic double-double is still plus money. So if you saw the big 4-legged plus one I posted a few days ago, Nurk double-double was in there, and he ended up with a triple-double in that game. And I added this new column here for double-double, and it just says yes. So if they had a double-double, you can kind of scroll across here and say, okay, he's had 1 in 4 of the 5 games he's played, and the 1 game he missed it by 1 rebound. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look and see what the juice is for a double-double versus 10 rebounds. Since the prop's 10.5, he's going to be minus money at 10 rebounds, but his double-double is plus money, so double-double is a great way to go. So let's go over here and take a look, and I'll show you another guy if I can remember who it was. So if we're looking at 10 rebounds, minus 167, well, more than likely, if he gets 10 rebounds, he's going to have 10 points. I mean, he consistently averages about 15, so I would rather go ahead and go over here to double-double. We're going to scroll down here under double-double, Nurkic plus 108. And so we're going to put in there the Nurkic double-double plus 108. Now, look what that does. That takes us from these two legs, it was minus 155, and we slap something that's just barely plus money, and that skyrockets to plus 218. That is insane. So that's a huge jump there. And it's really not that far-fetched. Nurkic to get a double-double. He's done it in 4 of the last 5 games. The game he missed was by 1 rebound, so that's fair. And then Keontae to get 20 points with marking it out. Sensabaugh, if he's healthy, 15 points. If you want to take that one out and get someone that's surely playing, you can, but already we're at 218, so that's pretty good. Let's see what else we had. Wemby, let's go ahead and take a look at him. So as usual, flip down through here. These lower end players aren't really going to have much. So Wemby was the next guy I made some notes on. I'm going to have to get more over here so I can get that on the screen. Let me make sure everybody can see that. All right, good. We're all on the same page now. So Wemby, what I don't like about him is there's a lot of juice, 0% for a lot of blue. He's not really hitting it. He's not. So Vegas has his lines higher than what he normally does. So they are making money on people who would bet on Wemby because he's constantly falling below it. So they have a rebound prop of 10.5. Look at this, 10, 10, 9, 10, 7, 7, 6, 14, 5. So he's hit it 1 time in 9 games. Now he may hit it today, who knows? But I'm just saying Vegas is making money, so this is not a prop I'm going to look at. However, over here, when we see this schedule, the very top team, you'll notice across the top, I added this little prior note right here. So they just played. So I want to see what they did. Now, one of the things you'll notice on the defensive stats up here, Utah, 30th in most points allowed at 127.4. They give up a bunch of points in the paint, but look at this one, 3-point shots, 30th. So they give up the most 3-point made shots. So they are not good at defending the perimeter. Now, when you flip across here and you look at Wemby's threes, 0, 7, 4, 5, 0, 3, 1, 0, 3. It's very sporadic, very up and down. However, we know Utah, they don't defend the perimeter. They're not going to be able to defend Wemby regardless. But in this prior game, this is a perfect example. He made 7 flipping threes. 7! That is insane. So Wemby can shoot, and if no one gets in his face, he could drain 7 threes again. So let's go over here and take a look at his threes, because that's always going to crank up some juice. So we're going to go to player threes. We're going to go down here to Victor Wembanyama. 2 of them minus 285. Good price. Love that, especially against Utah, who's 30th at defending the 3-point shot. 3, 106. That's really good odds. But look at 4. Plus 225. That's not bad. He just had 7 against him. The game before that against Minnesota, he had 4. The game before that against Milwaukee, he had 5. So in 3 of the last 4 games, he's hit 4+, and this is 225. That's pretty good. 5, you can go to 484 if you want to get stupid. 6 is plus 1,000, so that's 10 to 1, and he just did it. 7, if he did it again, that would pay 19.8 to 1. So $10 would pay you $198. That's fair. So see this, you can move these around and get like whatever you want. So for me, this 4+, I love that. I mean, he's done it in 3 or 4 games at 225. You only need to win that like 35-40% of the time. So if we want to do a nuclear one, I'm going to put in there Wemby 4+ threes. Look what that did. That shot this baby to 900. Now let's take Sensabaugh out. So I want to kind of lower this down. So just these 3, Keontae 20 points, Nurk to get a double-double, Wemby to hit 4 threes, plus 650. Whew, that's pretty good. I think that went down. So Nurk, Wemby. Oh, I had one more in there. So also this game is probably one of my favorites to go over the total. Just because they've scored so many points. We can talk about defensive efficiency, and the defense really is not going to be there. No one's going to defend Wemby. Like, he's going to go in and get the boards. If he starts hitting threes, lights out, and Keontae, he's a shooter as well. So I also like the game line. So 236, they finished, what we say, 231. So 233 last time they played, and then the time before that it was 241. So I like that to get definitely over 220, probably 230. 236 is a good number for Vegas. So let's take a look. So when I scroll back through here, I'm looking at this juice line right here. So if we go all the way down, minus 760, that's dumb. That's not really going to do anything. So I want to see what it is when I get around minus 500. So 219.5 is minus 516. So that's going to take us from 650 to 700. Yeah, it's probably likely if all these hit, it goes over. But 650 to 700 is not enough for me. But let's take Keontae out. Now we got Nurk, Wemby, and then let's go over. Oh my gosh, that dropped a ton. Nurk, Wemby. So this morning when I bet my 200-1 parlay, these three legs right here, just these three were plus 750 is what I locked it in at. Look, it's already down to 575. So there's a lot of money coming in. And I think the total's one of the ones that shot it up. So now we need to get this up probably to about 3.5. So 223.5. Now we're up to 625. But just for giggles, let's go. Let's put Keontae back in there. Let's leave the 219. Let's go put Keontae in there as well. Let's get four legs. 18. Let's go 20 points. All right, so we're at plus 700. So that gets us, I'm going to call that a nuke leg. So anything, oh, there, just jumped back to 750. So the Wemby 4-3s moved up again. Okay, so now we're at 750, and it's really not that far-fetched for them to score 220, and then Keontae to get 20 points, which should be the leading scorer. And then Wemby 4-3s and Nurk a double-double. 750, yeah. I mean, you only need to win that a few percentage or a low percentage of the time. Now, one of the other things, and you can't parlay these, which I thought I was a genius and found something here, are game leaders. Oh, that's either player props. Where are they at? So these game leaders. So Keontae plus 130 or Wemby plus 145. One of those two is more than likely going to lead this. Like, there's nothing that's a lock. But they're both plus money. So, I mean, you're making a percentage on either one no matter who gets it. Now, go back over here to the props tab. Now, I also extended this to 10 games. And what's fun about this is, like, I love betting the player to lead in rebounds or points or assist. And so we can go through here and look. So this is the game that they just played. And look, Keontae had 30. Wemby had 33. There was no one else even close. So Nurkic had 20, and Nurkic is never going to lead. Everybody else sprinkles. And then Castle had 18, 13, 15. See, it's so spread out. There's not one player. Fox isn't what he used to be. And there's no one else in there that's even if you look at all these games, like how many people have been over 25. So Fox did one game. Julian did one game. Got a couple 20s. Keldon did one game. But it's so rare. But look at Wemby. 30, 29, 39, 33. And then if not, look at Keontae in the games without Nurkic in here. 43, 30. Like, one of these guys are going to lead. There's no one else here. It's not like Ace Bailey's going to come out and drop a 30-burger. Sensabaugh could. Now, he's the one that could go crazy and get up there. So let's flip back over. All right, and so Wemby, yeah, that's what I'm going to do with him. Flip it down. Let me see if there's anything else in here I like. Over here on the notes that I made, Stephen Castle assist. I've got a cheat sheet, and it's almost the same guys. So when you see this, it's going to be a pretty consistent one. But Stephen Castle assists 7.5, 71% of the time. We got a little warm 1.1. He's averaging 8.6. Last 10, he's averaging 7. Line 7.5. That's one we're going to be able to get good juice on. So let's flip over here and take a look. Get back over here in the realm. And rebounds, assists, Stephen Castle. And so, yeah, 5 at 880, that's dumb. 6 at 383, that's fair. You could put that baby in there. Now, I'm not going to. We're already... Oh, look, we jumped again. We went up to 800. This is like the stock market. So now we're getting even better. But his assist, I really like. Look at these last 5 games. 8, 8, 9, 10, 8. and he's playing consistent minutes across the board. His projected minutes are here, so I'm going to look at his projected minutes, 33, and I'm going to look over here his last 10 games and make sure there's no change. Typically, if someone's coming back or playing, this projected minutes will drop to maybe 25. That's something to keep an eye on. But his assists are good. Even his PRA is decent. Nurkic is my favorite play out of this game. And Julian, he's a good one to play. His prop here is 13.5 points. He's projected for 32 minutes. You can see across here, he's consistently playing high 20s to low 30s. And then his points are a little sporadic, but I mean, at 13.5, we're getting pretty close here. 27, 13, 7, 13, 13, 14, 12. You can get him at 10 plus points at decent odds. That's not a bad leg to throw in there. We already talked about game total. So let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next game. So this, we have a Nurk double. Wimby 4 threes over 219. Keontae 20 plus 800. So that one's already going to pay beautiful. Let me find a good game to go down to. Let's do Portland, Miami. And then I just want you guys to see kind of how I use the sheet and where I break everything down and what I'm looking at. So as far as like the juice I'm looking at, the lines, the alt, how I'm moving them around, how I pick the games that I'm going to target. What'd I do there? All right, so here we have Sharp and Denny. I don't know how to say his last name. These are the top 2 scorers. They are consistently. So even if you go over here and you go down to this, you go down here to this Portland game. So these 2 guys right here, I mean, they lead it all the time. There's no one else below here. Every now and then, like Kamara got up to 25 once. Here, just random people jumped up. Grant, if he plays, he can get around that 15 to 20 point mark. No one else. It's going to be these 2 that take the most field goal attempts. And I mean, Vegas knows what they're doing. Look at the prop lines, 23.5, 26.5, and then everybody else is 10, 11, 12, pretty low. There's nothing on Grant yet. He's questionable. And there's no Tyler Hero tonight, so Norman Powell's the one to go. So this is a good spot. We can go here. We can type in Tyler Hero and say, okay, Tyler Hero played these 5 games. He did not play these last 3 games. So what happened when Tyler Hero did not play? Powell had 22, 21, 19. Pretty consistent with what he normally does. Not a lot of change. Bam Adebayo, though, 25 and 30. And he kind of did that before, but he took a few more shots. Wiggins, he definitely jumped up. So he's typically 10 to 12, had a 23. But then he jumped in that 15, 18, 19 points. So he moved up a little bit. So you can kind of see what other players did when that player was out of the game. So flipping down through here, let's go over and look at this game. So I'm just going to make this 2 legs so you can get an idea what we're looking at. And this is one of the later games on the slate. So we have Miami and Portland. We're going to bring it down here. And let's just start with player points. So Sharp, I like him. I mean, he's fantastic. Look at this. 27, 25, 24, 19, 23, 20, 20, 29, 23. And he had this one game of 6 points. But what I like is he still had the field goal attempt. So it's hard to see, but right above here is 3 of 16. So look at his field goal attempts. We have 19, 18, 15, 15, 17, 22, 17, 19, 16, 18. No change. All of his field goal attempts, he's basically 15 to 19, 15 to 18 consistently every single game. So every single game, depending on how he's shooting, he puts up 20 points, 25 points, somewhere in that range. The one game that he missed, he played a few less minutes, but he still took 16 field goal attempts. He just shot awful. He was on the road, and it was against the Spurs, and he shot 3 of 16. But every other game, 9 of those games, he had at least 20 points. So I'd be curious. So 20 points at minus 251. 18 is only 399. 15, that's stupid. But even if you did 18 points, gave yourself a cushion, or you could do the 20. I like going to the 18, dropping down when there's not that much juice between them. Just gives you a little bit of cushion in case he's like at this game where he's 19 and, they're getting, like here, they got blown out, 119 to 97. So he only played 28 minutes, took 15 shots. You can also look at the scores up here and see what they did, if they won by a blowout, if they lost by a blowout. This game, Vegas has at -2 with a total of about 240. So they're expecting this to be a close game. So I'm not worried about a blowout in this spot. So 20 points is pretty safe. I'm going to put 18 in there just because he's one of the main guys. Denny, he's one of my favorite players. If Jeremy Grant does not play tonight, the only forwards they're going to have, I think, are Denny and then whoever this guy is, Tumani, Kamara are the main two. So Kamara, if Grant doesn't go, I'll jump in, put him in a DFS lineup because he's definitely going to get more minutes. And look at this. He's only playing 12 to 15 minutes here, and he does 9, 11, 6, 11 points. But when he gets more minutes, when he gets in these 20s, look at this, 25, 14, 15, 20, 14. And then he had 22 minutes this last game and did 17 points. So that's fantastic. And then Grant is the other power forward. So look, Grant didn't play this game. He came in with a PRA of 22 and scored 17 points. And then when Grant played these two games, look, he didn't do much. He got some more minutes, but he they didn't amount to anything. And then these are kind of up and down. But he's a lower usage player. But Denny, we're going to talk about him. Look at this. He misses 3 games here. I believe it was sickness. And then he comes back with 38 and 8. So a PRA of 46. That is absolutely fantastic. So if we go over here, we look at his points. 18, 640, too high. I want to be below that 500. 20 points, 390. Yes, please. So we'll slap in there. So Sharp, 18 points. Denny, 20 points. I mean, that's almost an every game occurrence. And that's going to take our parlay right at that minus 200. So that's what I want to see is minus 200 or better with the first 2 legs. And then it's probably going to need 4 legs for me to get the plus money here. Let's just put one in here and just see what kind of juice we need. So 357, that's going to put us right about a normal bet. Okay. Flipping down here, so we don't know the status of Grant yet. We're going to skip him. If Grant does play, I like his points. I want to take a look at him. They're not up yet. Okay, moving on. Klingon. I always call him Klingon. This freaking dude, I love him. He's fucking huge. He pulls down tons of boards. He's one of my favorite guys. The problem is his rebound prop is already 12.5. So they've caught on, and they've started moving it up. But look at these numbers here. 17, 11, 12, 9, 8, 15, 7, 17, 12, 15. So you're not getting really good odds by using him. But you can get decent odds on like 9 rebounds. That's not too bad. 9 rebounds, 10 rebounds, 11 rebounds. But he's got a lot of games with 7, so don't worry about it. But this little number over here, this is the opponent DVP. So when we're looking at rebounds across here, the opponent's 27th in rebounds. So he should have the opportunity to, at least get 9. I mean, 17, 11, 12, the last 3 games. 9 plus is pretty fair, but I don't like it enough to put it in there. Then I'm going to flip over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other time. Now, the first thing I do... I got to get this over here so you guys can see. So the first thing I do is I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to just look at these 2 columns and see who we got. So Bam's jumping out at me. Wiggins has some red over here. Nope. No. Not enough usage there. Ware's questionable. And then these 2 guys, they don't play enough minutes. So we're going to go back up here to our main guys. So the majority of the higher usage, higher minute players, they're going to be in your top 3 or 4 because it's sorted by, I think, projected either fantasy points, minutes. Frick, I can't even remember. It's been so long. So Powell, we talked about him. I believe we got him in. Actually, we don't. So there's no Tyler Hero. So Powell's someone we want to look at. He's typically about 20 points. I don't love this one. It's priced well, though. Oh, I didn't mean to click 15. So 18 points, 433, 20 points, 269. That's decent, but I don't love it. So I'm not going to put that in my parlay just because even without Tyler Hero, he's still 8 of 16, 7 of 16, 5 of 15. He's just right on that. There's not a lot of edge there. So you can see he's not killing this number. He's kind of right at that number. So he's consistent, but he's not killing it. And I want someone that is freaking killing it. So if you want to use him, you can. Now let's go down here and look at Bam. Now Bam is someone that jumps out to me a little bit more. Now if you look at this, is there anything in here that jumps out at you? Now I see 2 things. One, across here I see it's not red, but red warm. So it's almost red. Is his assist. So that's one that I was looking at today, and I don't even think of Bam being a big center for assist. His number's 2.5. He's hit it 86% of the time. He's projected for 4. So just his raw, stupid projections are giving him, 40% more than the line. The last 5 games, he averages 4.2, and over the last 10, he's averaged 4. So I think 4 is a pretty good number. That's his average over the last 5, over the last 10, and that's what he's projected for. But yet Vegas pegged him at 2.5. Now the key here, that means is we're going to be able to get 2, which over 1.5 at probably pretty decent money. So let's flip down here to Bam Adebayo. Okay, so we can't get 2, but we can get 3 minus 251. So we're going to throw that in there. I like that. That's pretty good. So he's got 5, 3, 4, 5, 4, 4, 2, 3, 6, 4. So 9 and 1 at 3 plus. Okay, we'll throw that in there. Why not? His PRA is also pretty good. Points you can kind of mess with. Wiggins, he's another guy that I want to take a look at. His PRA number jumps out here, 23.5. That's so low. And when you look across here, he's averaging 23.2 and 21.3 over the last 10. So again, he's still in the gray area. He's not killing this number, but he's so consistent. 24, 24, 25, 28. He did drop to 15 here, but then 31, dropped to 18, 16, 15, 17. So these 3 games, he's kind of like, eh. And then he kind of picked it up, and now he's averaging a little over 20. So his PRA, if you drop it down to 15, it's juiced, but I love it for a lock. 20 plus is probably the way to go here. Where are we at? We're plus 106 with these 3 legs. All right, let's get another one in there. Jaquez. Davion Mitchell was a big assist guy for us for a long time. 6, 6, 9, 1, 10, 6, 7, 3. But he's been kind of sporadic lately, so I've kind of came off of him a little bit. Let me see what the other big play was here. Yeah, this one wasn't too big. I think my leg was 184, so you could add one more in here and get that up. But again, already this is putting us at 17-1. But again, I don't love this game. I liked it more when I built mine. But if you put 9 rebounds for Klingon in there, that's going to get it up. But I'm going to throw this one out. We're going to keep this plus 800. Let me go find something that's going to give us a nuke shot. So this Washington-Denver game. So when we come down here, we're going to slide over. We're going to go DVP zone. So we looked at the Spur game. Washington-Denver would be the second game that we're going to look at. So we come over here. We're going to go to Washington and Denver. Let me get a drink real quick. Oh, afternoon coffee is so good. So Washington is fucking awful. It's almost funny how bad they are. But again, I'm not like an NBA expert or anything. Just Jesus. Go over here and look at these game logs. Oh, I'm clicking everything. So here we see they've lost, 7 games in a row by 21, 21, 19, 14, 13, and then 6, and then 4. So they just played, so that's what I like seeing is a recent game here. But yeah, they're not great. So even if you wanted to back Denver, you could. Denver's doing pretty decent. So the key here, let me pull this game up. So there's 3 scorers for Washington. There's Trey Johnson, there's Keyshawn George, and Sarr. They're your main 3. Yeah, there's no one else in here that's really going to blow up. So those are the 3 guys. Now here's my freaking problem. So Trey has a prop of 14.5, Keyshawn 15.5, Sarr 17.5. So they're all kind of about the same. They lean to Sarr. But then when you go look at their averages, so Trey Johnson 13.2 to 12.9, Keyshawn 18.0 to 17.5. He's averaging the most. And then Sarr 17.2, 16.4. He's averaging the second most. So he's right there. So when we go over here and we take a look at these, so I'm just going to look. Let me pull up all the 15 plus across the board so we can look at the juice. So Sarr is minus 302. Keyshawn is 161 for only 15 points. And Trey Johnson is 111. There's no chance I want Trey Johnson here. Like, yeah, he could probably hit that, but more than likely he's going to miss that. Look, 15, then he had 4 freaking points. He shot 1 of 10. That's awful. 31 minutes on the floor and made 2 free throws and 1 basket. Terrible. Then he had 18 points. Oh, and this prior game was against Denver when he shot 1 of 10. So that's another reason why I would throw him out. Then he had 18 points. He had 10 points. He only shot 4 of 10. 19, 12. He did have 20. And then had 6. So he's so sporadic. So a guy that has a floor of 4 to 6 freaking points, I don't even want to mess with. Unless you're shooting for the moon and you're going to put him on here for 20 and you have some inside information, then yes, go ahead and do that. But the guy that I want is Keyshawn George. When I look at this, look at his field goal attempts: 16, 20, 12, 15. These last 4 games, he is turning it on. 18 points, 29 points, 15 points, 23 points. So in these last 4 games, his low is 15 to 18 and his ceiling is mid-20s up to 30. Yeah, that's the guy I want, and the juice isn't that much more. So Keyshawn, we can take 15 points. You can even drop to 12 points at 355, which is good. 10 points is stupid. But 12 points, you at least have to go there, 355. I would say that is near a freaking lock. But I'm going to go 15 points just because he should be able to score 15. If he doesn't, I don't want anything to freaking do with him. Trey Johnson, I'm going to stay away from. Let me find my notes. And I don't think there was anything else. Sarr, the problem with him is, so we look at 15 minus 302. So yes, yeah, barely, floor game, barely, under, right at, under. So there's a lot of games he misses. So I don't love that. And the juice climbs on him. And so if you get down to like 12 points, it's minus 830. Well, I would much rather have 12 points for Keyshawn at 355 than 12 points for Sarr at 830. I mean, there's 500 points of juice difference there. So I'm going to go Keyshawn. That's just me. He's more consistent. He has the bigger ceiling. He's taking the shot. And they don't have anything to lose. So he's going to keep just throwing up the rock. Champagne's someone I normally get into, but there's not a lot on him. So let's flip over here and look at the Denver side, who's actually going to have the majority of these points. So let's go over here to Denver. Jamal Murray, he's your top scorer. Everybody knows this. There's no rocket science there. So I always look at this top scorer, what their line is at 18, 20, and 25. Since his prop's 27.5, we can only look at 20 and 25. So on DK, 20 is minus 579. That's too much. It's over the 500 mark. Like, you can put it in there, but it's not really going to do a lot for you. 25 points minus 194. That's probably your way to go. That's a really good line. He's got 28, 16, had 42 last time they played him. But what I worry about is there a blowout concern? Are they going to get up? Are they going to rest him? He's playing a ton of minutes. He's got 37, 38, 39, 36, 25 minutes here and only scored 16 points. That worries me. But he did have 42 against them last time. I mean, shit, look at this. He hit 15 of 24 shots. Yeah, I'd say 25 points is definitely worthwhile. Boston, he only had 22, but Boston is a tough defense, and he still had 17 assists. No other game he's really blown up his assist. So I'm going to stick with points, but 25 plus is fair if you want to put that in here. DVP for Washington. They can't stop anyone, so he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. Aaron Gordon's another one that I looked at. I stayed away from him today for some reason. I don't know why. In their last game they played, he almost had a freaking triple-double. Look at that, 8, 10, and 11. So that's not bad at all. Peyton Watson, he's a guy that I do like. So Peyton Watson here, 15 points is pretty fair. His line's 18.5. He's averaging 22 over the last 10. So 18, 11, 21, 18, 31, 19, 25, 30, 24, 23. Pretty consistent. So let's throw Peyton Watson in there. 12 points too much. 15, 267. That's fair. Put that in there. Now, just these three, we're already at plus 200. Murray, I like. Keyshawn, I like. Peyton, Peyton's okay. We'll see if we can replace him. But if you leave him in there, plus 200. Tim Hardaway, I love how low his lines are. Look at this. So you can get, 8 points is dumb. 10 points minus 400. That's just funny. 12 points, 238. 15, 1. 12 points from Hardaway. Look at this. 12 shots, 18 shots, 12 shots. I mean, he's got a good shot here. Let's see, what was his third game over they played last? So 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, so he had 30 points and 5 threes the last time they played. So we can put him on there for 12 points. Let's see, he went over, way over, missed, and then had 10. But that was against the Lakers and Charlotte. So Tim Hardaway, you want to throw him in there? That's going to crank us up to plus 345. That's not bad. So this is the guy that jumped out at me. It was Jalen Pickett. Now, his minutes are kind of, I guess not too bad. Like, they're sporadic. He played 42, and then he played 21, and then he sat in the 30s. Then he was like high 20s, low 20s, 34, and then 26. So you have to be careful with him. But what I like about Jalen Pickett is his rebounds and his assist. So he has a prop of 4.5, 3.5, and then he's averaging a crap ton. So we can go over here. We look at rebounds. So let's go down here to Jalen Pickett. So we can get 3 rebounds at 379, 4 at 163, 5 at plus money. Let's just see what 3 looks like. So 3 rebounds for Pickett. He's got 6, 5, 5, 6, none, 8, 6, 4, 5, 4. And the opponent's 29th in rebounding. He just played him and had 5. So over 2.5. You feel pretty good about that? Frick, I do. Let's throw that in there. So we like Pickett 3 rebounds. Now assist. Now that's even lower. That's 3.5. And he's got 4, 7, 6, 3, 3, 4, 6, 2, 7, 3. So he's had at least 3 assists in 9 games. So let's see what we can find over here. Jalen Pickett. 3 assists minus 271. 4, 5, way plus money. 3, 271's not bad. You want to slap that in there. That's going to take our parlay that we've built at 460 and take it all the way up to, it's thinking, come on DraftKings, 600. So plus 600 is not bad. So you've got Pickett for 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Hardaway, 12 points. He just had 30. Peyton, I don't like that as much. I'm going to kick him out. Kaishan, love that one. Jamal, Denver should roll. He should have 25. That shouldn't be a problem. But already we're at 415. So Pickett to have 2 small numbers. Hardaway to have a few shots. Kaishan should lead the Washington team. And Jamal to have 25, 415. That's doable. Does it make sense? Yeah, I think it does. I think it makes pretty good sense. And so just looking at these two, plus 850, plus 415. Look at this, plus 492. Make sure you can see that. Yeah. So that's almost 50 to 1. So if you put $10 on that, that's going to pay you almost 500. $5 is almost 250. Plus DK always has some stupid 25, 30 to 50% juice you can add on these. But again, just use this little tip sheet, mix and match, put all your stuff in there. Typically what I do, there's a column that says plus 100 or greater, and then I highlight those in red. And those red ones, I usually put 1 out of each game into a parlay and round robin it. And I hit it last night. Actually, I hit 2 of the last 3. Or no, not last night. Last night, I hit my money builder. I did not hit that one. The night before, I hit that one. But I did get an early exit boost on it. But again, I'm just putting this together to kind of help you guys go through and pick stuff out. But yeah, just look at this hit rate, look at this last 5, look at the game logs, look at the prior matchups, compare the minutes. Are they playing more? Are they playing less? Is someone hurt? Is someone coming back? All this stuff you can find just on Google. When I do the tip sheets, I spend a lot of time on Google. I read the game previews. I look to see who's out, who's in, who's questionable. If they're questionable, what's their injury? Are they sick? How long have they been out? Are they likely to play? And then I kind of base it off of there. Like, if you think a player might not play or likely won't play and he's questionable, you can usually get a pretty good line on the other guy. For example, actually, I don't have an example. I'm going to go drink my coffee. So you guys have a good luck. In the premium group, I posted a round robin today that is similar to stuff like this. And it pays 200 to 1 with the boost. So that is fun. I just did 50-cent legs. It's nothing crazy. No one get excited. But across my round robin, I think it's 5 legs. I did 3x, 4x, and the scoop. I think I put $1 on and 50-cent legs. A couple of legs I threw an extra $1 on, but it was like $10 total bet. And if it scoops, it pays $1,500. So, I mean, it's a pretty good one, but I just sprinkled in there some wild stuff. Anyways, good luck, have fun, use this as a tutorial, and stay warm this weekend.